now. But obviously, before we start, I'll request that we be upstanding for a moment of silence for our departed former head of state, Dr. Edgar Chagorumbi. Thank you. Thank you. You may take our seats. So before we start our engagement, I will just ask the General Secretary, Mr. Robert Kamanga, to officially welcome us and also just do the introductions of the people at the high table. So, Jess.
Thank you, Sydney. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
The President of the Football Association of Zambia, Mr. Keith Mweemba, the Vice President, Mr. Ndu, National Women Representative, General Priscilla Katoa, Lusaka Province Chairperson, Mr. Jordan Maliti, colleagues from the Secretariat, members of the press, may I simply say all protocols observed. Welcome to Football House. And I'm glad that you are all able to respond at short notice to this important press briefing from the President. Thank you very much, and I expect that in future I can respond in a similar manner. The President is here obviously to address one or two but very urgent and important national issues. It's now my singular honor and privilege to call upon the President of the Football Association of Zambia, Mr. Keith Mweemba, to address it. Mr. President, sir.
Thank you very much, General Secretary. This was supposed to start in the morning at 10:45 and 11:45. But obviously we must have gone into the afternoon now. I welcome you all protocols observed. Good afternoon, members of the press, fellow Zambians, and the football family at large. With a deep sense of duty and regret, I have called this press briefing to address the nation regarding events that have unfolded around the Zambian men's national team, scheduled international friendlies against Sudan and Tunisia in Morocco, which were scheduled to be played on 6th and 10th June 2025, respectively. Regrettably, we had to take a last-minute decision to cancel this very important outing due to serious and unfortunate occurrences established in this important international assignment. As you may be aware, the men's national team was scheduled to travel to Morocco for FIFA-sanctioned friendlies, games that are not only part of our preparation for the 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifiers in September, but also a matter of national pride. You will recall, my executive and I were elected into office a little over 3 weeks ago, May 9, 2025 to be specific. And our administration is yet to receive a full, complete, and official handover from the previous administration. That noted, we have steadied the ship in this transition period without making any hasty decisions against anyone. A full National Executive Committee meeting is due to meet for the first time tomorrow to deliberate on various issues concerning the administration and management of our beautiful game of football. During this process, we have been reviewing a lot of existing contractual obligations FAZ committed to. Further, there are other contractual mandates And among these are the international friendlies against Sudan and Tunisia. Unfortunately, we are yet to be availed with a contractual mandate relating to not only the 2 matches, but also other upcoming and previous international matches, including the international friendly game against Russia, played on 25th March 2025. Despite several unanswered questions surrounding the organization of the friendly games, we engaged stakeholders and the government, who is one of our major funders, to fulfill the fixture, after which we were to carry out an extensive post-mortem. This was in the spirit that we should respect the program that Zambia national team head coach Avram Grant had outlined to prepare the team for this calendar year. However, despite frantic efforts to make the trip happen, certain individuals, some of the players included, have refused to travel, citing issues around unpaid allowances from their last outing in Russia and other past dues owed to them. Obviously, these outstanding allowances and other dues are things that we just found in office. This was not accumulated by our administration. But FAZ is an institution with perpetual succession. It's like a going concern. We have a duty to ensure that these allowances are cleared. This is not a matter of even pointing fingers at anyone. That is not leadership. It's an institution with perpetual succession. Every institution is going to have these challenges. Every institution is going to have these challenges. So we cannot start pointing a finger at anyone to say, I cannot do this, or we cannot clear these outstanding dues or obligations because we found them. It is our duty to do so without blaming anyone, without pointing fingers at anyone. That's what leadership calls for. Let me be very clear. Let me be very clear here. This is totally unacceptable. I have been informed this is not the first time some of the players have boycotted national team assignments. We're talking about a national team here. Zambia national team. Not a club. A national team. This is not the Zambia we want. While FAZ recognizes the right of every player to seek fair treatment and remuneration, the national team is not a playground for boycotts, power games, or manipulation. This jersey represents about 20 million people. It is not for sale, and it cannot be held hostage. The act of refusal by anyone, whether coordinated or influenced behind the scenes, amounts to nothing short of an attempt to embarrass the country and is in fact an act of betrayal of the badge. On allowances and current realities, my executive committee has inherited a financially challenging situation. Let me be transparent. We promised in our manifesto that the system of governance we want to lead would be a democratic one. We want to promote democracy and its fundamental principles. And among these fundamental principles of accountability and transparency is one of them. So I need to be transparent here. The coffers are dry. That's a fact. At least we have been told we are in red. This institution FAZ has got no money. The coffers are dry, they're empty. Again, this is not to point a finger at anyone, because FAZ is an institution with perpetual succession, and it is our responsibility and our duty to find solutions without pointing fingers at anyone, because that is the reason why we were elected into office. We are working on dismantling a huge debt we inherited, ranging from unpaid obligations for accommodation of national teams, allowances, legal fees, affiliation fees and salaries, among others. Our view is the entire system must undergo a complete restructuring process. But despite that and all other hardships, we made every effort to mobilize funds and communicate to all parties that we travel to Morocco in order to fulfill the head coach's wishes. I spoke to the head coach. He expressed that he was keen to have these friendly games go ahead. And we did everything within our power to support the coach, because we have a duty to support the coach and make everything possible for him to be able to enjoy his work and deliver. So we are in touch with the coach, and in spite of this effort, this is where we are. This is because we believe patriotism must never wait for payment. Patriotism is not a small word in this country. It is a word which is there, even under our supreme law, the Republican Constitution. All of us here, including you journalists, have a duty to be patriotic to this nation. That's what it means, patriotism. And stakeholders joined us in making this a possibility. Yet no player has ever been forced to wear the shirt. Those who choose to do so must know what it means to represent the eagle and the flag. On rumors of sabotage, we have also received credible reports from impeccable sources of interference and deliberate sabotage of the national team, instigated by individuals with vested interests. Let me send a stern first and final warning to those working behind the scenes to destabilize this national project. We are aware of who you are. We are watching. And your days of holding Zambian football hostage are numbered. I speak not only as first president, but as a qualified lawyer who has practiced law for many years in this country and who has worked with various investigators in this country. So you don't go to court without evidence. When I say something, it means I've got evidence. Just watch the space. If you are found to be behind this disruption, whether as an administrator, former official, or player being used as a pawn, you will face the full force of disciplinary action under the FAZ statutes, and where necessary, civil and criminal prosecution. Anyone who breaches the laws of Zambia cannot hide under the umbrella of football. A criminal offense is an offense, it offends public interest. And if you breach the laws of Zambia, including the Cyber Security or Cyber Crimes Act, then we are not going to come to your rescue. No one is above the law. The rule of law demands that those who commit criminal offenses belong to jail. You can't hide under the umbrella of football. You can't commit a criminal offense and think you can hide under the umbrella of football. Even FIFA itself does not allow that. A criminal offense offends public interest. To the players. To our players, I have a message for you. This is your country. Your talent is admired. Your value respected. But let it be known, no individual is bigger than the badge and indeed the country. If your loyalty to Zambia is conditional, then this door may not be yours to walk through in the future. We do not need anyone, I emphasize, we do not need anyone who is unpatriotic to this country. This country already went through a lot of trauma and grief after the Gabon air disaster. That fateful night of 27th, 28th in 1993, we lost the entire Zambian national team. I'll read that again for purposes of emphasis. This country already went through a lot of trauma and grief after the Gabon air disaster, in which we lost the entire Zambian national soccer team and its crew. That Buffalo plane in the Atlantic Ocean. That notwithstanding, we were able to rebuild with a new national team, which went on to reach the finals of the AFCON in 1994 in Tunisia, and was only shy of a point to qualify for the 1994 World Cup in the USA. 2 years later, in 1996, this same team reached the semi-finals of the AFCON in South Africa, which of course was won by South Africa. 94 was won by Nigeria, where it came out third after beating Ghana in the third and fourth place. The goal was scored by Joe, if you remember, the young brother to Kawashaba. David Spear, I think that was his first game. He is one of our goalkeeper coaches. That was his first game at the AFCON, replacing James Spear's goal. This country is not short of talent, as it is a footballing nation. Zambia is a footballing nation. They say to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And all players, cranks, busybodies, and other mischief makers must take note of this very serious warning. We shall protect and honor those who honor and value the flag. But we will also move forward without those who believe the national team is a bargaining chip. Zambia is bigger than all of us. The national team is not a place to play games of this nature, games of deception, truants. Zambia national team. I think there's a lot that needs to be done. It explains to me why we have challenges, even just to qualify even to the World Cup. Why we are struggling even just to qualify to the AFCON. We qualify. It took us time, sometimes we went 3 years in a row, 3 times in a row without qualifying to the AFCON. Our World Cup qualifiers are in tatters. It was unheard of in those days. Of course, there are no more underdogs in football. With the greatest of respect, it was unheard of to come and lose the World Cup qualify a competitive match against opponents like Tanzania. But they must be given credit. They have done what football demands. There is no shortcut to football. Tanzania has done very well. So it wasn't a surprise that they came and beat us 1-0 in World Cup qualifying. So this behavior cannot advance the interests of football. It cannot. Playing for the national team is not a right. I must tell the players, playing for the national team is not a right. It's a privilege. There are so many players who crave to wear the national team cards. And if there are those who think that they are special and that this country will start pleading with them, they are wasting their time. Further, we shall engage our head coach, Avram Grant, with whom we are in touch, so that we support him in all his programs in preparations for CHAN, AFCON, and the World Cup qualifiers. The coach is guaranteed of our administration's unwavering support. Conclusion. maybe before I read the conclusion, I can elaborate. The coach is going to have our full support. We know that it is difficult to talk about qualifying for the World Cup, but I think it is important to finish strongly. But there's no way this country can finish strongly in the World Cup qualifiers with some of the players who have exhibited such kind of behavior. I'm censoring here. But you will soon know in due course the behavior of some of these players, what they have done. That is why you heard me when I talk about it. Anyone who commits a criminal offense will be on his own. Because I think discipline is key. Players must respect themselves, they must respect administrators, and they must respect the country at large. Zambia, above all, football is the heartbeat of this country. It unites us. It gives us an identity. It goes beyond partisan considerations. And it knows no tribe, but only the slogan of one Zambia, one nation. And it must never be compromised by greed, ego, or sabotage. I stand here today not just as the first president, but as a Zambian, determined to restore discipline, integrity, and pride to our national game. We are resetting the system. We are cleaning the house. We are going back to a place where the badge means something again. Zambia's glory days are returning, whether anybody likes it or not. We are football people, and we know what it takes to run football. We know that we can only succeed with discipline, teamwork, hard work, sacrifice. Those who think patriotism is secondary to allowances or money, they have no place in the Zambian national team. I repeat, those who think patriotism is secondary to money, they have no place in the Zambian national team. And those who are used to pampering players, who want to make players big-headed and think that they are too important than others, sorry, not under the Keith Mweemba administration. They will not join the national colors. And I make no apologies for uttering this statement. I'm serious. And to all saboteurs, consider this your first and final warning. Zambia will move forward with or without you. This evening, dear colleagues, countrymen and women, our gallant local team is facing Comoros in the opening match at the COSAFA Senior Tournament in South Africa. May I take this opportunity to send our best wishes to the team in South Africa. This is an important fixture that acts as a training ground for the African Nations Championship. Chad. Thank you all. God bless them.
Thank you, President. I think we can give President a big hand. Thank you for the address, President. I'll ask Sydney to coordinate this session for any questions and clarifications relating to the briefing that the President addressed will deliver. Sydney.
Thank you very much. Yes, obviously, I will request that we give brief clarification because I think the 10 hours is huge. Also, just introduce yourself and ask a question. Yes, Commissioner.
Good afternoon, Mr. President.
Afternoon, thank you.
Thank you. I have not formally congratulated you for winning the first president. Congratulations, Mr. President.
Thank you very
I
much.
just have,
Thank the customers.
I just have two questions. The first one is that we hear FAZ was to spend about 2.4 million kwacha on accommodation on the trip to Morocco. Was this not too much? Then my final question is, you've not specified in terms of the figures of how dry and how deep the debt is that FAZ owes to different stakeholders. Thank you.
Allow the government to take the two questions then.
Answer?
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Obviously, if you talk about the nation spending not less than 2.4 million kwacha just on accommodation alone for international friendlies, that is, you don't need to be a rocket scientist to know that 2.4 million kwacha just on accommodation is simply out of this world. And obviously, these are issues that I cannot give you details. I've already stated that the EXCO is meeting tomorrow, and these are issues that will be discussed in the executive committee meeting in a democratic way. I think we did, consider this issue with members of the executive, including the general secretary, who also felt that this figure was exorbitant. But in spite of these challenges, we thought it was necessary to support the coach, who really wanted these friendly games to go ahead. And so we had to do everything within our powers. And we must commend the government, because government came on board and committed itself to make this trip a success. But obviously we are where we are now, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but yes, the 2.4 million kwacha just on accommodation alone is exorbitant, is too much, because we are not even talking about other, other expenses like air tickets, among others. I hope I've answered your question. The second question is, how deep is the debt? I think these are, again, I'll come back. We have an executive committee meeting. Just know that our, the coffers are dry, and we have not less than 100 million in debt. Various debts, of course, other than the allowances we're talking about for players. We can also talk about, I think in some countries, I think we are owing in some countries. In Egypt, I think the under 20 went there. Is it under 20? Under 20, I think we are owing there hotel bills. I think in Mozambique also. Is it under 20 again? Under 20 again, Mozambique, hotels are owed. I hear Dubai, South Africa, under 17 who won the COSAFA in Namibia, we are owing there. We are also owing, I think, COSAFA. COSAFA is also owed. I think the dates, I think they date back 12 to 24 months. COSAFA is also owed, I think, almost 1 million rands. Among others, I think we are also supposed to, even participating in the COSAFA also, you have to pay. We're supposed to pay $20,000 here to participate, but look, our executive, with the support of the General Secretary, we are doing everything within our power. That's why the team is competing today, because we had to make decisions, difficult decisions. And we are glad that stakeholders are also coming on board to help, just to ensure that we continue participating. But obviously, going forward, these are things that we need to work to ensure that these dates are cleared. It's our obligation. And we shall definitely ensure that all these dates are cleared, including what the players are owed. whatever the players, some of whom have made this trip a flop, they'll be paid. There's no doubt about that. That is one of the priorities. We want a happy team. We want to take care of the players. And they should have no doubt that they'll be paid. And this will be something that will be given priority. There are many I can talk about. The coaches are old. Avram Grant is old. Nora, the Pro Queens, the Copper Queens coach is also old. And assistants. So there are many, including our own local coaches. They are old. So the debt is huge. But as I've said, I want this to come out very clear. It is not leadership to point fingers at anyone. These things, I don't want to go on the merits or demerits of how this debt was accumulated. I think it's not important. What is important is for us to provide leadership and ensure that this debt and obligations debts are cleared, the obligations are fulfilled, and then we see how we can move together and begin a new life chapter. I think that's what is important. I hope I've answered the question.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Brian Mira Jr. from US TV. Mr. President, if I've heard you correctly, you said some investigations were done to do with the indiscipline and the outside forces that are trying to put some bad influence on the players. My question is it something that has just happened during the starting of your tenure, or it's something that has been happening even before you're coming in, according to the information and investigation that are presented before you? And lastly, how deep is the situation concerning that?
We'll take the second question also.
Okay. The first one you said, is this there?
According to the information that I presented to you before you, is it indicating that it's the first time happening, or it's something that has been happening even before you're coming in? The indiscipline of the players and the outside forces.
Sabotage.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, before you answer, we'll take
Oh,
the question so that we...
Is that what? That was your first, your one question?
Maybe the last question is, how deep is the situation?
Okay.
Yes, my name is Calvin from Poland News. Mr. President, I would like to know how much the players are owed, if at all you have the figures. And secondly, last time when the FAZ doors were found locked, there was an investigation according to you. I would like to know the status of the investigation, and also I went there. It's okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is this the first time this has happened, right?
Yes.
I think if you read my press statement on the second page, the third paragraph on top on the bottom, I said I've been informed. This is not the first time some of the players have boycotted national team assignments. So it means this has been, they say old habits die hard. So this, even the previous administration maybe was blackmailed. I'll call it blackmail, and blackmail is corruption. So probably even the previous administration was blackmailed by players boycotting, wanting to force a payment. When you have an important game, I'm told it happened in Ivory Coast. Also here, we read on social media that even before the World Cup qualifier against Tanzania in the Copper Belt, some players had even refused to disembark on a bus to go and train. And what was the result of that game?
We lost it.
We lost. Football is a spirit game. You can't win. You can't win. I told the people, we're not winning tomorrow. When such a thing, that's negative energy. Football is very sensitive. And this has to come to an end. So it's not the first time it's happened. But it is the last time it is going to happen, because whoever does that will never ever play for the national team again. Whoever does it, hear me right, will never ever play for the Zambian national team again. It doesn't matter what the coach thinks, whether that player is a darling of the masses. That player will never ever don the national colors again, because it's a virus. The moment you have a virus in the team can't win. Those are problems. How deep is the situation? Obviously, it is very deep. A trip has been cancelled to Morocco. This is very deep and profound, not so? Yes, and it is sad. I'm sure you as a journalist are very sad too. We must begin to care. This is our country. We all love football here. Football is very serious. So some people have died because of football. We have lost lives because of football. I remember some years back, one MP died because when the Zambian national team lost. And people should now start taking the national team as a playground. No. How much are the players owed? All right, this one we have an extra meeting tomorrow. Obviously, we are going to have the finance department present, but just know that players are owed and that they will be paid what they are owed. You can, if you want, you can get your pen and you record in your diary that on this day, the FAZ president said the players will be paid. They will be paid. And we are taking it as a matter of serious concern and priority. We shall pay them. That is why I'm extremely disappointed. I expected players, they read the news, they listen to the news, they read social media. They are even aware, these players from the Chiporoporo boys, they are even aware that I've been meeting stakeholders. No, I've met Coach Nora Opto for the Copper Queens, had a successful meeting. They requested that I travel to South Africa to go and address the players, because here I met the local players, but I had to go to South Africa with the women representative here, Kenya or Priscilla Katoba, to go there and address them, and it was a successful meeting. We want to support them for the WAFCON, which is coming in July. We want to do everything within our powers to ensure that the team is adequately prepared. That is how hard we are working. I wasn't keen to travel, but we had to travel because it was necessary. So even for the Chiporoporo boys, a message was delivered to them that the FAZ president is going to travel to Morocco to go and address them and assure them that your concerns will be taken care of. That's the issue here. So why would they, in their right frame of mind, not wait to be addressed as a whole? I cannot, as far as president, start addressing players individually, as some of them were demanding. I should start addressing players on phone individually. Really? Players should actually now have the audacity to actually start engaging the leadership and start recording leaders. Is that in order? Is such a player disciplined? So I should start engaging players, and I'm putting the spotlight so that players can even start recording conversations. It's a sad situation. All of you must be very sad. Players can have the audacity in their figment of imagination to commit a criminal offense, to record someone without their knowledge and consent. I will not go deeper beyond what I have said, but I thought I should give you a hint. And those players out there, they are listening to me, a hint to the wise is sufficient. you will not be part of the Zambian national team. Those who are serious and disciplined will play for this country. I would rather we go to a tournament and lose with a disciplined team than to win with a team which is indisciplined. Status of investigations on lockup. I did address, and I think we spoke, that what transpired here a few weeks, days ago was unfortunate. I came and addressed everybody. We came on the platform of reconciling the football family. We came on the platform of saying everybody is a stakeholder, whether the past leadership, now the present, and the future. It's important to develop the Zambian game. It's not about individual. It's not about a person. It's not about how you feel. If you want to get results in football, everybody is important, including the past leadership. It is important. We want people to reconcile. We have said we want to reconcile the football family. We have an EXCO meeting tomorrow, and some of these issues will be addressed. There are many pending issues. A leader does not work alone. Democracy demands that we involve everybody, share ideas, debate. Democracy thrives in a marketplace of ideas and its fundamental principles. That's what we want to do. We shall engage the past leadership. We want to work together. We have good legends out there, people out there with a football brain. Then our football will go back in the right path. That's what we want to do. You journalists, help us engage in investigative journalism, but help us also to there must be no bad blood. We don't want this acrimony. Everybody is important. Elections are gone. There's no winner or loser. We are all a stakeholder in our football. Everybody is important. Everybody is important. All these things on social media, this camp or this camp, look, it's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. But we are Democrats. Even those who are making noise on social media, we respect that. They have got a right to freedom of expression under Article 20 of the Zambian Constitution, Cap 1 of the laws of Zambia. But freedom of expression does not mean you can ignore the exceptions in the Constitution. If you commit a criminal offense, then do not complain if the law visits your shoulders. We want to work with everybody. We accept for people to promote checks and balances. It is important. But we must also criticize reasonably and with facts, not based on insinuations, innuendos, and rumor mongering. No. Even hearsay evidence is not admissible in a court of law. So, the issue of the lockup was unfortunate, and we addressed it. We said we are going to handle that issue administratively while the police are doing their part and they'll give us a report. So we cannot interfere with investigations. I think I must just make it clear that we shall, administratively, the issue was discussed in-house and we are looking at it. Then the police will give us a report of what the status quo is, and then depending on the report they give us, then we shall know the next course of action to take. I hope I've answered the question.
Thank you very much, President. We will get Mweemba, then Jen, and then we'll close with the last set. So we'll take the two, then the next set will be the final set.
My name is Mweemba. Mr. President.
Okay, so Mweemba, Jen,
then the
that's one. Okay.
We'll close with
last set. Give a chance. Give him a chance. I think it's all right. Let's say it's democratic.
Right, Mr. President, there was a perception that there was a frosty relationship between the previous FAZ executive and the government, especially emanating from debt obligation and many other times there was a contradiction on who exactly owes the players as well as the coaches, on whether it was government or it was FAZ. So the question is, have you harmonized that situation, and what exactly is the status quo in regards to the debt situation between FAZ and the Ministry of Sport? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. My name is Jane Keith Mweemba from RCV. I have two questions for you, Mr. President. The first one, since the two games have been cancelled for the senior men's team, is there going to be any other option, even as we are building up to the challenge in August and the AFCON in December this year? Second one is about the Copper Queens. We're only a few weeks away from the AFCON come next month in Morocco. The expectations are quite high out there from a number of fans. So are we going to see the team going in camp very early, or are we going to see other friendlies being organized ahead of the AFCON camp next month?
Thank you. Okay, thank you. The earlier question from Mweemba was there was a close relationship between the previous administration and government, and who is owing?
Who's owing the players and the coaches? Because there are usually contradictions.
Okay.
FAZ says it's the ministry throws the part first.
Sorry, we do not want to play a blame game or finger pointing. I think what happened in the previous administration, I don't want to comment on the relationship between the previous administration and government. I think that is what under the bridge. Bygones are bygones. We are in office now. It is our duty to clear all contractual or existing legal obligations to the players, regardless of who is wrong or right. After all, or in any case, two wrongs will never make a right. So it does not matter whether it is government owing, or whether it is FAZ owing, or whether both of them are owing. The truth of the matter is that there are obligations to be fulfilled, and we are going to fulfill. All I can simply say is that if you speak about our administration, we want to have a good relationship with all stakeholders, including government. Because government is a major stakeholder in our football. I think I need to emphasize that government is a very big stakeholder in football. Not only to our national teams, but even at the club level, even in terms of infrastructure. I can give you just in quickly how government is an important stakeholder. Who funds Red Arrows Football Club? Red Arrows, Zambia Air Force, right? Red Buffaloes, Zambia Forest Rangers, Zafiko, right? Zesco United, Green Eagles, NAPSA. So, Prison Leopards, I can go on and on and on. But also, it doesn't end at just a club. What about the infrastructure? We have nationalists, LCCA, just across in Coloma, Levy, Heroes. So government, you cannot run football in this country without government. Make no mistake about it. Let us not shy away from speaking the truth. Football is dead without government involvement in this country. That's a fact. Government is a major and important stakeholder in the running of football in this country. So our administration will work with government, any government of the day, the current government, because government is a very important and big or major stakeholder in the running of football in this country. So we are going to ensure that we have a good relationship with everybody, government inclusive. And in any case, there is a memorandum of understanding that will be signing very soon. The Ministry of Youth, Sport and the Arts and FAZ. That shows you that we are determined to create harmony and to have a good working relationship. So that memorandum of understanding will be signed very soon. Then, is there going to be any other option for games, for friendlies? I think if you read my statement, I said this was the last but one page. I said, further we shall engage our head coach with whom we are in touch so that we support him in all his programs in preparation for CHAN, AFCON and all World Cup qualifiers. The coach is guaranteed of our administration and everything support. Now, this was speaking to the subject matter, which is the men's national team. But obviously we elongated your question also to the Copper Queens.
Yes.
And that was one of the issues we discussed when I met the coach and the team, that we are going to support them in all their programs, their preparation towards the WAFCON, because I think I want us to win the WAFCON. It is very much possible to win if we prepare well and we do the right thing. So, the coach is preparing a program and she'll give us the training program. She wants the team obviously to camp outside Zambia, and it is our duty to ensure that we support her in all ways possible, so that the Copper Queens can make us all proud as a nation. I think we have got talent, but obviously talent alone, individual talent alone may not be enough, so we have to do more than mere talent. If you talk about individual players, punch for punch with other countries, I think we are among the top. But obviously football is a game of teamwork, and there's a lot that needs to be done to win. If you play individually because you have got brilliant players, you can't win. There's need for teamwork. Together, everyone achieves more. The team must prepare adequately, so we shall indeed ensure that the coach is supported. And those games are coming. Thank you.
We'll take the last set of questions. Of course, the president is a Democrat, but I'll request that it be one question per person, and please try to be very brief.
Thank you.
Robinson, Cecilia, Victoria, then our colleague.
Thank you so much. My name is Robinson. Presently, your revelations about the state of dates that FAZ pose is quite alarming. I do know for the fact that the government takes care of the two senior national teams, but you reviewed that FAZ is owing in different countries, Egypt, Mozambique, Kosafa, among others. What is even more worrying again is that it's even gone to the extent where employees are being affected in terms of salaries. Yet, in a build-up of the elections, one of the predominant subjects was that financial discipline had been restored at Football House. President, my question is: we are aware that FAZ was son of each, and as a result, FIFA has not been releasing part of the grant. Is the administration doing, and what is your administration doing to resolve the issue surrounding Asanovic? Thank you.
Thank you.
I will still request that we be very brief, colleagues. I'm sure you know that we've been here for a long time. Cecilia.
Mr. President, my name is Cecilia Name from the Mass Newspaper. I would like to find out, that is, if it's possible, if at all you have a total number of players that are withdrawn from the trip, and if possible, kindly help us with some names.
Anyone added to the exhaust what I answered in the past?
My name is Victoria Linosi from Crown TV. Having issued a stern warning to players over the issues of indiscipline and the issue of boycotting, there might be players that might be intimidated with this issue of being warned over such issues, and then they might not even come out even when they have genuine concern over any issues that they may have. As the president or as an association, how are you going to ensure you build trust towards the players so that they feel like they are valued and supported?
My name is Moses Mpundu. My question is, you did mention that the debt raised to 100 million plus. I'm thinking, if at all you had preview to how long it will take to dismantle that debt and bring sanity around the financials around the football house.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Can we give you the son of the issue? Yes, indeed, we talked about fiscal discipline and the issues affecting workers, employees, salaries during the campaigns. Thank you. What we started in our campaigns is just that. Fiscal discipline is very important. And that is one way in which we shall prioritize things correctly and ensure that money that is meant to be spent to a specific area is just spent in that area. If money is meant to clear allowances or this, of course you have to prioritize, and you have to also ensure that when you receive money, you prioritize. I do not expect that money to be pocketed by anybody or to create a series of transactions to delay the payment, and then players don't get paid, or something wrong happens. I think the Sanovic situation is a sad situation because I think when those issues were happening, the coach only wanted about $20,000. And the issue, obviously, moving from $20,000 to $1.1 million is a very, very sad state of affairs. There is a lot that can be done to the development of football in Zambia with $1.1 million US. Again, I keep repeating, it is not right to say who was wrong or who was right. The bottom line is that we have got this problem in our hands, we have inherited it, and we shall resolve it. Okay, we shall resolve it. It's our duty to resolve it. We cannot fold our arms and say, this is not our problem. It is our problem too. This FAZ is an institution with perpetual succession. The total number of players and their names who are involved in this mischief, was that the question?
Yes.
Thank you. The principles of justice. There are two fundamental principles of justice, and I will name them. You cannot be, a person cannot be a judge in his own cause. That goes by the Latin maxim for us lawyers. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Okay. Nemo debetes judex in propria causa sua. You cannot be a judge in your own cause. But most importantly, applicable to this situation, to your question, here the other side. No person should be condemned and hate. Audeoteram patem, odiata et autera pas. Here the other side. It would be improper and imprudent and unwise to start mentioning the names of players who give you the number when they are not here to defend themselves. There are always channels. At the right time, the correct procedures will be followed. And the players who are involved must be given an opportunity to behave. If they are not found wanting, they must be exonerated. If they are found wanting, the necessary punishment must be meted out. So I'm sorry, I will not give you the names of the players who are involved, although I know that. Thank you very much.
Your number, you said you give us the number.
I'm sorry, the number won't be. My apologies, sorry. Just know that it is not everybody. The majority of them are actually very innocent and they are very good boys. They were willing and ready to play. But obviously, we have to show responsibility in our leadership. It would be pointless. We would have probably forced our way to say we are going to travel. But then what point is it going to serve? We force matters, we travel there, and then we go and lose with an embarrassing cricket scoreline there. It might even cause more damage to the morale of the team and even affect us in more ways than one. This was a necessary decision. Thank you. How are we going to build trust towards the players who may feel intimidated so that they feel valued and supported? Those who are disciplined have nothing to fear. Those who are ready to play for the badge have nothing to fear. Those who care for this country and respect the people of Zambia have nothing to fear. But those who are in the category of viruses, because a virus mutates, it can multiply, right? Why should we allow viruses to be part of the team and cause confusion to the entire team? So, how are we going to build trust? We are going to build trust toward those players who must feel valued and supported, those who are disciplined, because we shall be fair in our treatment of them. No one will be unfairly treated. We shall also trust them, because we trust them. But they must play for the nation. They must play for the badge. You, who has asked this question together with others, are a taxpayer. These players are taken care of by taxpayers' money, to some extent. So, playing for the national team is a privilege. It's not a right. We only want to work with players who care. Players who have got the heart to fight for this nation, for the badge. Zeal, character. I want players with the character. Players who care. We want, the president is a winner. I want players who are able to receive when I transmit positive energy. I'm a winner and I want to win. I don't like losing. You journalists must also hate losing. Zambia is a footballing nation. Can we go back the glory days when we care? Let's just for once, let's all be patriotic and start caring for our football. So, you have nothing to worry about. We care for them and we value them. I think my statement also talks about that we value them. So, it's not intimidation, it is a fact. Because if you say probably intimidation, you might think, oh, it's just mere words. These are not mere words. You take your diary and record this day and see how we are going to do things going forward. Let any player just attempt to be disciplined. He will be used as an example to the rest. And he will never play for the national team ever. So, I hope I've answered your question. How long will it take to dismantle the debt and bring sanity around the football house? Thank you very much. We are holding our first executive committee meeting tomorrow. And these are things that cannot be, that one person should make a decision. You cannot be a fountain of wisdom. Leadership demands that we put our heads together. You can see I'm not alone here. I've got my General Secretary here, Mr. Ruben Kamanga. I've got my Lusaka Province Chairperson, Mr. Jordan Mariti here. I've got on my left my Vice President here, Mr. Mtalenga. And I've got my women representative, Kenel Priscilla Kato. All of us will be in the EXCO. We have got others also that we do communicate with. So 2 is company, or 2 is better than 1. We shall find a solution together. We cannot fail. Once we work together as a team, we shall find solutions. Then the nation will know how these outstanding payments or debts will be cleared. Just know that they will be cleared. And I am determined to have them cleared within the shortest possible time. Because I think it will be good to begin on a clean slate where you don't have anything disturbing you, and whatever income comes in now, you're able to budget properly and focus on developing the beautiful game of football. I really hope it has been a fair answer to the person who asked this question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I wish you had mastered enough Latin along the way.
Just a second. Mr. President, just on the currency, over $100,000 or kwacha? 100 million, sorry.
It's more than 100 million kwacha, Zambian kwacha.
Thank you.
Yes.
So at this point, I will just...
But I've just said more than 100 million kwacha. I haven't given you a specific amount.
Sure.
Thank you.
So I'll invite the General Secretary to just close so that we can actually conclude this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President, and the rest of the EXCO for sharing the wisdom. And thanks to the members of the press for your time, your questions, clarification, and I hope that you help the President and Executive to disseminate the correct information. Thank you for your patience. I enjoy the rest of your day. Most importantly, in the afternoon, enjoy the COSAFA, which kickstarts at 18 hours for Zambia, and hope to start on a good note. Thank you very much.